Guys, thank you so much for hanging around. That was a very frustrating thing that just happened with that live stream. This is going to be part two to my last live stream talking about Trump's tweet, how he thinks he has centralized, federalized powers over the state. Look, the state is out to lunch, okay? The state is that great fiction by which everyone seeks to live at the expense of everybody else. But the last thing, what's worse than state governments is an overarching federal bureaucracy. The worst, like I've said before, and you guys try to prove me wrong if you can. One of the worst things that has ever happened, not just to America, but to planet Earth in the history of mankind, what's wreaked more death and destruction and mayhem and piled up more debt than any country, any nation, any people group in the history of the world is Washington, D.C. Washington's District of Criminals. More wars, higher body count, more control, more dishonesty, just death and destruction. It's like the Washington, D.C. is literally the epitome of a death cult. And so I would really ask this, along with, what Samuel Adams said, if you love wealth greater than liberty, the tranquility of servitude, think about that, the tranquility of servitude, rather than the animating contest of freedom. He says, go from us in peace. We ask not your counsel or your arms. Crouch down and lick the hands which feed you. May your chains set lightly upon you, and may posterity forget that you are our countrymen. I don't even want you to help defend me. If I'm ever in trouble, I don't even want you to help me, is what he's saying. If you would love wealth greater than liberty, let me say this. If you would love cognitive dissonance greater than liberty, if you're really going to support Trump when you know you wouldn't have supported Obama for the same thing, and we'll look at that tweet again. If you want to take a reference to it, you can look at my last video, but I'm going to go inside and show you again. I had to get out of there from behind the computer. I got a headache trying to square all that stuff away and figure out what's going on, turn my computer off, unhook the router, log out. If you would love wealth greater than liberty, if you would love cognitive dissonance, if you really want to hold on to Trump that bad, and you really want to try to hold on to the Constitution, which they're mutually exclusive and diametrically opposed, you cannot do it. Not in be honest with yourself. Not in lay your head down at the pillow and actually say, you know what? I just stood for liberty today. Look, you're going to stand for liberty and against tyranny, or you're going to stand for tyranny and against liberty. There is no gray area. You're either all in or you're not. And that's why Samuel Adams said, if you would love wealth greater than liberty, if you would love cognitive dissonance rather than liberty, the tranquility of servitude, that stimulus check, the quantitative easing, if you would want the quantitative easing, the comfort and ease of Federal Reserve quantitative easing, the increasing of the money supply, the devaluing of the dollar, that tranquility of servitude to make sure you got enough money in your pocket, even though it's doomed. It's totally doomed. If you want that, go ahead. Go for me in peace. I don't ask your counsel. I don't want your wisdom. I don't want to know what you think. I don't want to even talk to you. I ask not your arms. Don't defend me. I don't want to see you again. May your chains set lightly upon you. You know those chains of tyranny that you wanted under Trump that you didn't want under Obama somehow? You didn't want Obama's chains of tyranny, but you're okay with the boot of tyranny on your neck if it's Trump's boot of tyranny. That's what it amounts to, guys. It's tyranny or liberty. It's go time or no time. You're either all show and no go, or you're all go and you're just talking about. We don't need to just talk about it anymore. We need to stand up and stand for freedom, and that the only way that's going to work is if we stand together. That's it. And it is an animating contest of freedom. It's not going to be an easy road. If you want to walk the road of freedom, it won't be easy. That's why it's the animating contest of freedom. The price of freedom, in Jefferson's words, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. That takes work. You can't take your oar out of the water and expect to continue to go forward. You take your oar out of the water, you stop doing this. It's like when you're working out. You stop working out, you're going backwards. You won't be going forwards. The only time you should stop working out is for that day where you're recovering, because that's where you grow. You stop lifting weights, you stop doing the cardio, your heart will get weaker, your muscles will atrophy, the bones will get weaker. But you start introducing it to resistance. Embrace failure. Go to failure. Tax that muscle. Do what it was designed to do. Then you get progress. Then you get stronger bones. You get stronger joints, ligaments. You start feeling better. You get stronger. But as soon as you take that ore out of the water and you start exerting that effort, that animating contest to freedom, that's it. You will go backwards. And that, by the way, that animating contest to freedom, it's against the current. You're literally walking in the opposite direction of the masses. The brain dead, blind masses who don't have two brain cells to rub together because they're hooked in to the morphine drip of mainstream media chaos and insanity. They're distracted, deceived, and divided, and therefore we're easily conquered. That's why when you try to open your business right now, you're gonna have a whole hey, we got a little problem here. Old Schmitty decided to open his old barbecue, and he's got about 3 people out there. Oh, wait a second, there's 12 people. Oh my God, he went against the 10-person rule, and they aren't practicing social distancing. You need to get somebody out here. That's why we got that right now, because people are literally so checked in to fake stream, lame stream media. They're so checked into, hey, I voted for Trump this year. Oh man, I voted for Hillary. Well, can you imagine how much worse it'd be if Hillary was president? I really hope nobody's still saying that. Can you imagine how we have full-blown socialism? This is a Bernie Sanders wet dream right here, to watch all those miles and miles of people in those socialist bread lines just waiting for their food handout, their food stipend. And now everybody's biting their nails about this $1,200, which isn't going to be worth a hill of beans once you start spending it, because the prices are going to go up. You have a whole bunch of paper chasing too few goods. Those prices are going to rise. You got government getting involved, prices rise, and quality goes down. So if you're not outraged at what Trump did, when you know damn well you would have been outraged if Hillary wrote the same thing, or if Barack Obama wrote it, you'd be all up in arms. So what am I talking about? I'm just going to finish this out, and I'm going to tell you why you don't want a centralized authority. And if I'm wrong, correct me. For the purpose of creating conflict and confusion, some of the fake stream media, like I said in the last video, not everything's fake stream news says is wrong. You have to parse out what is truth. I don't care who said it. Is it true? A broken clock is right twice a day. For the purpose of creating conflict and confusion, some of the fake news media are saying that it's the governor's decision to open up the states, not that of the President of the United States and the federal government. Let it be fully understood. This is incorrect. And like I pointed out, and rightly so in the last video, behold, the 10th Amendment. The power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states or reserved to the states respectively or to the people. That completely shows you that fake stream media was correct. Do I love fake stream media? No. But you know what I hate? I hate tyranny. I hate lies. I love truth. And 120.1 thousand people liked this, and surprisingly, 29.7 thousand people retweeted it. Like this is some great thing. But here's why you don't want a federal power, and this is what I wanted to sum it up. This sums it up from Thomas Woods. I don't know if you know who Thomas Woods, but he summed it up perfectly. What happened in the U.S., this is regarding the Civil War, what happened in the U.S. instead was a war that has been called the greatest atrocity of the 19th century. No one mourns the passing of the slave system because a lot of people think, oh, it was about freeing the slaves. No, it was about secession of the states. It was about the Civil War was about states' rights. Tyrant Lincoln wanted to be the monarch over all the states and create a centralized power. No bueno. No bueno. But those who can see nothing more than slavery at stake in this context, in this contest, miss the insight of men like Lord Acton, who saw in this victory for centralization a defeat for the values of civilized life in the West. It was a victory for centralization. When you have a victory for centralized power, you automatically have a loss of liberties. Why? The reason you want states to retain their own sovereignty and their own power is because if things go south, excuse the pun, if things go south in Texas, you can move to New Mexico. You can move to Arkansas. You can move to Oklahoma. You can move to any other state. And then what happens is you have competition between the states. Okay, where are people likely to have the security of the maximum amount of freedom? Oh, it's South Dakota. Everybody goes to South Dakota. The economy explodes because everybody wants to be there. And then Texas goes, you know what? We better get our act together and get rid of this tyranny and start introducing a little bit more freedom. If you have a centralized power, you eliminate that competition. And that's exactly what government does. They specialize in eliminating competition. When you eliminate competition, you suspend freedom. You suspend the free market. You increase manipulation. You increase consolidated power in the hands of a few psychopaths. Whereas, at least with the states being separate from a centralized authority, them making their own decisions, them maintaining and retaining their sovereignty, you have hope for freedom. You don't have to travel across the ocean to go search for freedom. You can just go to the next state over. It may take you a couple-hour drive if you're in the center of certain states. But at least you know when you make it to Montana or to Colorado, you can escape the tyranny. Not so with the centralized authority. That's why Trump is 100% wrong. That's why the 10th Amendment is at least 90% right. And I'm only saying 90% because 10% of that is the state is the great fiction by which everyone seeks to live at the expense of everyone else. But at least on the monetary side of it, freedom facilitates economic growth and prosperity and an explosion of people who gravitate toward freedom. If you put a federal centralized umbrella over that, oh man, all bets are off. That's why the 10th Amendment is so important, because you have an escape from tyranny not very far away, just across that state line, that border. Trump wants to eliminate that by saying, yeah, I can call the shots. I'll tell the states when they can open. It's not about what the governors want, it's what the president of the United States wants and the federal government. See, if it's true that Washington's district of criminals is the worst scourge that has ever been seen on this ball of dirt we call Earth, then the last thing you want is Washington calling the shots in Arizona or in Oregon or in Florida or in Maine or in North Dakota. You want a place to escape to freedom if the boot of tyranny gets too heavy. That's the reason you got a 10th Amendment. And that's the reason Trump is on the wrong side of the Constitution on this. And that's why, unfortunately, fake stream media was freaking right. And you literally have to be highly ignorant. You don't know what's going on. You're so checked into the cult of personality you can't see what's going on, or somebody's paying you not to see what's going on and is handsomely rewarding you for your stupidity by supporting Trump no matter what. Just trust the plan. Trump's always right. I think this was so good, I'm going to like it and retweet it. Yeah, I'm getting on to you, Trump people. Yes, if Obama said it, you'd be 100% up in arms about it. So stop being hypocrites and be morally consistent, or at least be constitutionally consistent. Yeah, the Constitution is dead. It died, like I said, in the first live stream that got cut off, and I want to try to finish this as quick as I can because I don't want to get cut off again. So if you gave me a super chat, I'll try to address it in the next live stream. Don't worry, I will get you. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate it, but I got to finish this before they cut me off again. You want a place where you can escape from the centralized power, period. Trump is acting like a dictatorial, I control all the states tyrant who doesn't recognize states' rights and state sovereignty. That is the voice of a tyrant. And if you continue to support Trump after all that we've seen about him being completely beholden to the bankers and not giving a damn what the Constitution says, if you're the leader of the free world, you would have already opened things up, and to hell with what everybody else says. Hey, we'll take our chances with dangerous freedom. I don't care what you liberal morons say. I'm not going to have my people getting run out of their businesses and losing their houses and losing their cars, and the middle class disintegrating and people becoming homeless and suicide rates going up and drug abuse and alcohol addiction going up and people beating their wives because they don't know what else. It's a hopeless situation. They're at the end of the rope. People committing suicide for this. Meanwhile, just never mind. The deal is states' rights is a thing. It's called the Constitution, specifically the Bill of Rights, more specifically, the 10th Amendment. If you transgress that, then you are a freaking tyrant who wants to put a blanket of control over all the states and what you say goes. Evil. What it is Donald Trump is being freaking downright evil. And you know what, you Republicans? You know what, you conservatives? You know what, you Brandon Tatums and Candace Owens of the world? It is tyranny in your face, and you're wanting to cozy up to it because it makes your name look good to shake hands with and take a picture of the President of the United States. Who the hell is that? Would you go take a picture with Hitler, Stalin? Hey, Mussolini, come over here. This would be a great little selfie. Hey, isn't this great? Yeah, I know you're exacting tyranny, but you know what? You like me and I like you, and my social media numbers are really going up. Screw that, man. Now is the time for freedom. Now is the time to hate and crush tyranny because it's crushing us. Doesn't have a problem crushing us. You remember 2 or 3 years ago, they were talking about, oh my God, the government's going to be shut down. The government's going to be shut down. And the people go, well, we can't have that. We can't have that. What do we do? What do we do so we don't have a government shut down? And then government turns right around and guess what? Boom, we're shutting you down. And they did. We had an opportunity to shut government down and we didn't do it. I can't think of anything more insane than that. Please share this video. If you think what I said was in accordance with the Constitution, or at least in accordance with some semblance of morality, because I don't give a damn if there's a D by somebody's name or R by somebody's name. I don't care if you're team donkey or team elephant. The left versus right paradigm lie is what's led us to this point right here, and it's completely diffused us and cauterized our minds, seared our consciences to where we can't even think morally. We can't even think critically. And it should infuriate the hell out of all you guys. It should infuriate you that everybody around you in your community, 99% of them, they wouldn't think twice about calling 911 because you weren't social distancing. They wouldn't think twice about calling the authorities on you if you were in a group of 10 or more. They wouldn't think twice about wanting your ass thrown in jail because you're starving to death and you got to open up your business or you're going to lose everything. That's how brain dead people are. And Trump is facilitating that. And Deborah Birx is facilitating that. And Anthony Fauci is facilitating that. And so is Mike Pompeo and stupid Goldman Sachs wash up Steve Mnuchin. Banking puppets. All of them are banking puppets. And if you think Jake the Snake Tapper or Brian Stelter or Blair, whatever her name, Brooke Baldwin, or Laura Ingraham or Sean Hannity are in your corner, you better think again. You better take your head out of your posterior ASAP. Because things ain't going to get any better if that cement continues to cure, that cement of cognitive dissonance in your mind that's making you just feel real good about MAGA, real good about Trump 2020, real good about going to the polling place and pushing that button and pulling that lever for the next parasitic puppet who we trust, because you got to trust the plan. All right, guys, please share this video. If anything that I said resonates with you, I'm sick of it. We need to be totally sick of it. I probably have another video that I'm going to put up tonight. It's going to be something more on a positive side. It's kind of a good news thing about people just getting sick. People getting sick of the tyranny. That's where we need to be. We need to be hungry. Maybe we need to lose our houses. Maybe we need to lose that second car and that entire car. Maybe we need to lose our jobs to wake up to the fact, damn it, I voted for Trump. And he's stabbing me in the back. And now I'm down, and now he's putting his boot on my head. Screw deep state. You don't need the deep state. The shallow state is putting your head under the water as you gasp for air. Just give me a little bit of freedom. Give me freedom or give me death. That's the position we all need to be in. The Patrick Henry, okay, screw it. I'm going to die anyway. I'm fighting, man. You want to take my guns? Here's the bullets first. I am not calling for any kind of violent uprising, but I'll tell you what, we need to hold the line. We need to hold a whole bunch of people shed their blood, or at least they thought they shed their blood for something called freedom. And there might be a light at the end of the tunnel that you see, but that's just the oncoming train of tyranny. It's been coming since 1913, and now it's hitting us straight in the face, and we don't give a damn. We're all asleep at the wheel. And our greatest enemies are apathy and our indifference to what's going on because we're so stuck in that left versus right paradigm. I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican. Screw you, screw that. Give it a like, share it with everybody you know. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video. I'm going to end this before they end me. I'll see you later.